A married woman with 2 babies at home followed her ex on Instagram. Just a simple follow, that's it. But then he messaged her, and what he said in that message, it made her question everything about herself, her past, and whether she just disrespected her entire marriage. Now she's sitting with guilt she can't shake, wondering if she needs to confess to her husband or if telling him would actually cause more harm than good. Here's the thing though, when you hear the full conversation, you might be split on whether she did anything wrong at all, or you might think she crossed a line the moment she hit that follow button. Either way, by the end of this, I need to know where you stand, because this one's complicated. Stick with me, let's break this down. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us. We talk about real relationship situations from real people 5 times a week. And today's story is one that I think is going to spark some serious debate in the comments. Before we get into it, do me a quick favor. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Are you watching from the US, UK, Canada, maybe somewhere else entirely? I love seeing where everyone's tuning in from. And honestly, it helps me understand the different perspectives people bring to these stories. So drop your location down below. All right, so this story comes straight from Reddit. It was posted just recently and the comments are already going crazy. People are all over the place on this one. Some saying she did nothing wrong, others saying she needs to tell her husband immediately, and then there's a whole group saying she shouldn't have followed him in the first place. I'm going to show you the original post in just a second so you can see it with your own eyes. But first, let me set this up for you because there's context here that matters. This is a married woman. She's been married for almost 3 years. She has 2 kids, both under 2 years old. So we're talking about someone in the thick of motherhood right now. Diapers, sleepless nights, all of that. And 2 days ago, she made a split-second decision that's now eating her alive with guilt. Here's what happened. So let me give you the background first because it's important. This woman, let's call her Maya, has been with her husband for 4 years total, married for almost 3. They've got 2 babies under 2, so life is busy, stressful, probably chaotic most days. Now Maya and her husband have what seems like an open communication style. They talk about their pasts, they talk about their exes, not in a weird way, just in the context of sharing their lives before they knew each other. But here's the thing. Her husband gets insecure sometimes when they talk about her past, and there's a reason for that. Maya, by her own admission, was what she calls sexually active before marriage. She says she had a lot of flings, a lot of casual situations. She even uses the word slut to describe herself during that time. Her word, not mine. Her husband, on the other hand, he's 5 years older than her, but he slept with fewer people. His past was more about serious relationships, not casual hookups. So there's already this dynamic where he's a bit sensitive about her past because her experience was just different from his. Now keep that in mind because it plays into what happens next. 2 days ago, Maya is scrolling on Instagram, just casually scrolling the way we all do, and Instagram does what Instagram does. It recommends someone to her. And that someone is a man she was involved with 6 years ago. Not just any involvement. She describes this as being back when she was sexually active and living a very different life than she is now. So she sees his account, and here's where the decision happens. She follows him. Now pause for a second. Before we go any further, I want to know, what do you think about that decision right there? Is following an ex on Instagram a harmless thing, or is it crossing a line when you're married? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I genuinely want to know how people feel about this. All right, so she follows him, and she says she did it out of curiosity, but then she admits something else. She says part of her, maybe a small part, but still a part, wanted him to see that she's doing well now, that she's moved on, that she's got a whole life. So the follow happens, and he follows her back almost immediately, and then he messages her. Okay, so now we get to the actual conversation, and this is where things get interesting. I'm going to read you the messages exactly as she posted them, so you can judge for yourself what happened here. He messages first. He says, "Why did you follow me?" Now think about that for a second. He doesn't say, "Hey, how are you?" He doesn't say, "Long time no see." He goes straight to, "Why did you follow me?" What does that tell you? To me, it sounds like he's either suspicious or maybe curious, or maybe he already knows why and he's testing her. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. So she replies, "I don't care. You were recommended to me." Okay, so she's playing it casual. She's acting like it was just a random thing. Instagram suggested him. She followed. No big deal. He says, "Oh, okay, lol." And then she says, "Hope life is good." All right, so at this point, it still seems pretty innocent, right? Just two people who used to know each other, catching up briefly. Nothing weird yet. But then he replies with this, "You miss it, huh? Hope life is good to you too." Hold on, let's stop right there. "You miss it, huh?" With a laughing emoji. Now, what does that mean? Is he talking about their past relationship, their past involvement? Is he implying she followed him because she's thinking about him in that way? When I read that, I immediately thought, okay, he's making an assumption here. He thinks she's reaching out because she misses what they had. Whether that's true or not, that's what he thinks. And this is the moment where Maya realizes this conversation is going in a direction she doesn't want it to go. So she immediately shuts it down. She replies, "I'm married with 2 kids. I guess I should unfollow, lol. I don't want to disrespect my husband or our covenant." And he says, "Yup, all good." And that's it. They unfollow each other. Conversation over. Now, before we go any further, I want to pause here and ask you, at what point in that conversation, if any, did she cross a line? Was it the follow? Was it the hope life is good message? Or did she handle it perfectly by shutting it down the moment he implied something? Because here's where people are divided. Some people are saying she didn't do anything wrong. She followed someone, had a brief conversation, and ended it respectfully. Others are saying the follow itself was the mistake, especially knowing her husband has insecurities about her past. What do you think? Seriously, pause and drop a comment right now. I want to hear from you. All right, so the conversation is over. They've unfollowed each other. It's done. But here's the thing. Maya feels terrible. She says that even though nothing sexual happened, even though she didn't flirt, even though she shut it down immediately, she still feels guilty. And she breaks down her guilt into a few specific things. First, she feels guilty because she followed him in the first place. She says she acted on impulse. And now she's wondering, why did I do that? What was I actually looking for? Second, she feels guilty because he might have misinterpreted her intentions. That message he sent, "You miss it, huh?" That's proof that he thought she was reaching out for a reason. And even though that wasn't her intention, the fact that he thought that makes her feel like she did something wrong. And third, and I think this is the deepest part, she admits that he's still attractive to her. Not that she wants to do anything about it, not that she's thinking about leaving her husband, but just that seeing him again, seeing his face, it brought back memories. Memories of who she used to be. Memories of a time in her life when things were very different. And that's what's really bothering her. Not just the follow, not just the conversation, but the fact that those old feelings, attraction, desire, memories of her past came back up. And now she's sitting with them, trying to figure out what to do. She says she's prayed about it. She's removed herself from the situation. She unfollowed him. She's done everything she can think of to make it right. But she still feels conflicted, and she's asking 3 questions. Let me read them to you, because I think these are questions a lot of people struggle with, not just her. Question 1. Should I tell my husband about this, or would that just create unnecessary distrust? Question 2. How do I process my guilt and lingering shame in a way that aligns with my faith and my marriage? And question 3. How do I navigate feelings of attraction or desire without letting them interfere with my conscience or my relationship? Now, before I give you my thoughts, I want to hear from you. What would you tell her? Should she tell her husband, or would telling him cause more problems than it solves? Drop your answer in the comments. I'm genuinely curious where everyone stands on this. All right, so let's break this down, because I think there are really two sides to this, and both sides have valid points. Side one, she didn't do anything wrong. People on this side are saying, look, she followed someone on Instagram. That's it. She didn't slide into his DMs with flirty messages. She didn't hide it. She didn't plan to meet up with him. She literally just followed him because Instagram suggested him and she was curious. And when he sent that message implying something, she shut it down immediately. She told him she's married with kids. She unfollowed him. She ended the situation. So from this perspective, she handled it maturely. She recognized it could become a problem, and she stopped it before it did. People on this side are also saying, you can't control who you're attracted to. Attraction is a feeling. It just happens. What matters is what you do with that feeling. And she didn't act on it. She didn't pursue anything. She shut it down. So if you're on this side, you're probably thinking, she doesn't need to tell her husband. It was a non-event. Telling him would just create insecurity and doubt for no reason. Now, let's look at the other side. Side two, she crossed a line. People on this side are saying the moment she followed him, she crossed a line because it wasn't innocent. She admits it herself. Part of her wanted him to see that she's doing well. That's not curiosity, that's seeking validation from an ex. And here's the thing. She knows her husband is insecure about her past. She knows this is a sensitive topic for him. So why would she follow someone from that past, especially someone she was sexually involved with? People on this side are also pointing to the fact that she admits he's still attractive to her. That's a red flag. Because if you're still attracted to someone and you're seeking them out on social media, even if it's just a follow, you're opening a door that should stay closed. And then there's the question of honesty. People on this side are saying, if you feel this guilty, that's your conscience telling you that you did something wrong. And if you did something wrong, your husband deserves to know. From this perspective, not telling him is a betrayal because you're keeping a secret. And secrets, even small ones, erode trust over time. So if you're on this side, you're probably thinking she needs to tell him. Not because the conversation was inappropriate, but because the follow itself was inappropriate, and honesty is the foundation of marriage. Now, here's my question for you. Which side are you on? Do you think she crossed a line, or do you think she handled it fine? And here's an even harder question. If you were her husband, would you want to know about this, or would you rather not know? Let me know in the comments, because I think this is where it gets really interesting. Okay, so now I want to talk about what I think is the real issue here, because it's not really about the Instagram follow. It's deeper than that. Maya talks about guilt and shame. She talks about her past. She calls herself a slut for how she lived 6 years ago. And now, 6 years later, married with 2 kids, she's still carrying that shame. And I think that's what this is really about. She didn't follow this guy because she wants him back. She didn't follow him because she's unhappy in her marriage. She followed him because, for a moment, she wanted to feel seen by someone from her past, someone who knew her before she was a wife, before she was a mom, someone who knew a version of her that doesn't exist anymore. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. When you get married, when you have kids, especially when you have 2 kids under 2, you can lose yourself a little bit. You become mom, you become wife, and sometimes you miss the person you used to be. Not because that person was better, just because that person was you. And I think that's what happened here. She saw his name, and for a second, she remembered who she used to be, and she followed him. But then reality hit. He sent that message, and she realized, I'm not that person anymore. I'm a wife, I'm a mom, and I don't want to disrespect that. So she ended it. Now here's my question for you. Do you think it's normal to sometimes miss your past, even if you love your present? Or do you think if you're truly happy, you shouldn't be looking back at all? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, because I think that's a question a lot of people struggle with but don't talk about. All right, we're almost at the end, but before we wrap up, I really want to hear from you because this story has so many layers, and I think different people are going to see it in totally different ways. So here are my questions for you. Question 1. Do you think she should tell her husband about this? Yes or no? And if yes, how should she tell him? Question 2. Was the Instagram follow itself a betrayal, or was it harmless curiosity? Question 3. If you were her husband and you found out about this later, would you be upset or would you understand? Question 4. Do you think feeling attraction to someone from your past, even when you're happily married, is normal, or is it a red flag? And finally, question 5, what would you do in her situation? Would you tell your partner, or would you just move on and not mention it? I want to hear all perspectives on this, whether you think she's overreacting, whether you think she messed up, whether you think her husband needs to know. Whatever you're thinking, share it in the comments. And if you've ever been in a similar situation, I'd love to hear your story. How did you handle it? What did you learn from it? This is a judgment-free space. All opinions are welcome here, so don't hold back. All right, everyone, that's the story. A married woman followed her ex on Instagram, had a brief conversation, shut it down immediately, and now she's drowning in guilt. Is the guilt justified, or is she being too hard on herself? That's for you to decide. Before you go, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We post stories like this 5 times a week, and honestly, the comment section is where the real conversation happens, so I'd love for you to be part of it. Also, if you made it this far, drop a comment and let me know. Are you team tell him or team move on? I'm genuinely curious where the majority lands on this one. And if you know someone who would have strong opinions on this story, share this video with them. Let's get the debate going. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.